What is happening, y'all? We are back at it again with another video. This is part 2 of posting this. So let's continue.
Skirting around the most well-known wisdom of the ages. No, 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 I can thread this needle properly. Watch me dance through the minefield, avoid all the tripwires that everybody else kicks.
Yep.
And then you kick one. And you share a knowing look with somebody else, the kind that can only occur between two people who have been hurt in exactly the same way, and a voice in the back of your mind will say, I told you so.
I like that.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like you can't take a vacation without spending half your time on your laptop, or delegating feels super risky because no one else kind of knows it like you?
I like that a lot. You kick a tripwire. Whatever that tripwire is, if it's a punishment, if it's whatever it is, a tripwire is a tripwire. And knowing that you can go through this life through a lot of heartbreak and turmoil, which heartbreak can be difficult and turmoil can be difficult, but you are not getting through this alone. You're going to continually on trying, continually on doing, continually on becoming that better version of yourself, because you know you can. Which is why don't take the instant gratification, don't take that hit, don't take that that addiction as an addiction. It is all an addiction into where you see fit. The way I look at it is an addiction is an addiction. And we may never know where that addiction can lead us to. It can lead us to turmoil, it can lead us to a hole, it can lead us to wherever we see our weapon as the field of play plays out in our own terms. And whatever those terms are, it can only be for us to know. We could tell other people, but we might be afraid of what they will say. And knowing this, we can all go through certain steps of the process that lead us to get to that end goal, to lead us to getting to that belief. And whatever that perfect person is, it can only be for probably you to know. So let's continue.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've wrestled with this because you close with "I told you so," and I actually think that is a part of the trap, which is you're not supposed to make the same mistakes that everybody else makes. You're supposed to listen to your elders. And what I've seen is that it's kind of like grades. Like, you're not supposed to skip counting on your fingers to jump to mental math. You are supposed to bump your head. You are not supposed to listen to other people tell you that it hurts to bump your head or burn your hand on the stove. As much as it hurts to have done, I think there's something beautiful about the process. And part of the most difficult thing for me was that
it's the way I look at the process is that things will happen. Things will come, things will go, things will pass on. This stupid piece of sun. Thank you. Like, it's right there. Sun is being a 9 today is what I'm implying. But the process, we must trust the process. We must trust the algorithm, because the algorithm is there for us. The process is there for us. And to not trip on a tripwire can be hard for some people, because of the peers that are there, the peers that are listening, the peers that are there for us. They can only be there for us if they're there for us. So let's continue.
I kept beating myself up for exactly the reason that you were talking about.
Why didn't you foresee it?
Everyone told me this was going to happen, right? Why didn't I catch it?
Such an idiot.
So there's
I'm the same way. I'm such an idiot for listening to other people's criticism and not taking my own, which is, if I don't post, other people will post before me, and so on and so forth.
a model that is, it's not uniquely mine, but it helps me understand it, that I think of as a pyramid. that I think is appropriate here and is somewhat related, which is we start, if this is a pyramid, at the very top thing, which is with our attention on results. And this is sort of victim mindset, which is to say we're in junior high, high school, wherever, and we go, man, I wish I had that girlfriend, or I wish people liked me. And we talk with our friends and we pontificate about what we would do if we had $100 million, but we do nothing to make it happen, right? When you leap from that to lower level, which is foundational to it, which is behavior, you don't get to bring all your friends with you, right? Because some of them want to just stay there. And this is what I think you were talking about with this lonely chapter idea. As you shift into, I'm going to take action, I'm going to start going to the gym, I'm going to start counting calories, I'm going to start making sure that I do enough work every day. And I'm not just going to go, did I get the result that I want? I'm going to go, how are my inputs?
I agree with that, because without the external outputs, there has to be an input. And without the inputs, you can destroy yourself just because of the external is wanting you to kill you.
My behavioral inputs. You lose people, but you gain something, which is as you focus on this stuff just it occurs. It's secondary to that. But then the journey that I think I started probably 10-ish years ago was you have everything you want and the hole is still there. So you start paying attention to the emotional layer, which is underneath that. Because at the action level, it's all about discipline. Don't want to go to the gym, just do it. Feeling sad, turn it into rage and make and propel yourself forward, right? But you start to realize that those corrosive emotions are a type of fuel that just hurts, and you can get all of the actions in place and all of the results can flow, but you will feel crappy. So you start tending to your emotions. Joe Hudson shows up in your life, right? When the student is ready, teacher appears. And you start sitting with
this student becoming the teacher. Oh, I need to watch that video of Joe Hudson and Chris. But what is he implying?
Aim, and you start sitting with helplessness and
Grief.
grief. Oh.
Grief, helplessness, and aimlessness, self-pityness, restlessness, self-pettiness. Without these illnesses, we may never know where this life can lead us to. Which brings me back to, where do you see your life going within the next coming years? You can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. As long as that they're not affirmations in the mirror. Because when words become words, words become fighting and stronging and sticking with the script. And without knowing what this so-called script is, which you may never know what that next script will lead you to. Because we might see ourselves as afraid, as running away, as not doing with what we must do. Which we have all this time on this planet, and we waste so little of it, so much of it. And people say, yeah, but you could have built that business earlier on, because you're afraid. You're afraid of the pity, you're afraid of the grief, you're afraid of the sadness, because you're afraid of feeling those emotions for what they truly are and what they truly mean to you.
Rage instead of just anger, right? And so as you get in touch with all of these, your emotional fuel starts to shift. You're taking not exactly the same actions, but you're still taking effective actions. And then over time, your results come back. But there's a dip in between every one of these levels. When you switch from results to actions, you're the loser who's going to the gym and is still skinny. When you
switch to actions, what was it, actions and...
Over time, your results come back, but there's a dip in between every one of these levels. When you switch from results to actions...
When you switch from results to actions, when you see the result, when you see the actionable step that is leading you to that path, to that journey, to that understanding, only you can truly see that action path. Because you know what must be done. Which, whatever is done is done. Nothing else can change the factor of what is going on within your life right now. Because of this, you're afraid. You're afraid to try. You're afraid to do. You're afraid to act. which means we all know what we must do and how we must become that better version. Which, if we are afraid, then you may never know where this life can lead you to. If you're so afraid, shut the door and turn off the lights, because there's a vicious person that is out there waiting to be opened, waiting to be trusted, waiting to be acted, waiting to be reacted to. And when you switch from actions to results, you can't just expect one thing and get a totally opposite different thing. You must first be that better version of yourself, be that raw version, be that understanding version. Because without that version, you may never know where this life can lead you to. If you're so afraid, there can be so much that is going on.
You're the loser who's going to the gym and is still skinny. When you switch from actions to emotions, you're the guy whose business is shrinking while everyone else is kicking butt. And why are you lagging? They're having so much fun conquering the world.
And denying how they feel.
And yes, and the problem that I did and everybody else does is you try to drag people who don't want to take that journey. So I realize now at each stage I have been very aggressive with the people closest to me in trying to incentivize and pull them to the level of development that I feel called to, and it's not appropriate. There are people waiting as you achieve these levels, even though it feels like there's not. And I say achieve, that's even a different modality.
Yep.
But what I'm seeing, and there may be many more beneath this, is I spent years now on the emotional place, and the unlock for that is obviously you have more joy and you can operate from that. But the thing that I have not said before that scares me I'm afraid to say it, is that there's a level beneath that which is spiritual religious. And it's terrifying to acknowledge that the deepest wound that I've been able to find inside of myself is there. It is a separation from life, a separation from God, a separation from all of these things. And everyone has their own story in the West of how that came to be. But culturally, if you look at us, we are all recent immigrants in America, you especially so, right? There was something going on with our family and our homeland where it was like, it's kind of crappy, or it's not working here. We're going to cut ties with our ancestral lands. We're going to cut ties with our extended family. We're going to cut ties with this sense of belonging to a larger community to go try to form a better life for ourselves. And so a lot of people, particularly in America, I have found are ancestrally disconnected, spiritually disconnected from the land. They found convenient ways to get everything from food to friends to whatever they need. And they can't, myself included, identify the location of the pain, the location of the hole, because you would need to have a soul in order to feel that pain. And if you don't have a soul, you just need more stuff, or you just need better behavior, or even you just need to feel better. But as I've dropped into this layer, it's like, oh, like the relief, the gift, the joy, the beauty is, I don't even want to sell it too much. It's staggering and humbling and beautiful.
Very staggering and very humbling. Whatever your humbling is experience, only you can understand how humbling and how staggering this experience is and what it will be. Let's continue.
And so that's been my arc lately.
Well, Houpert was sat there yesterday, and he basically said the same thing. So you're in good company. This God pivot.
The God pivot.
Oh, you got some jokes, Chris. You got some funny ass jokes. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It seems to be reliably happening to people who get to a certain place. So I'm interested in, there's a bunch of like ideas that are being mapped here. So I love what you said about the unteachable lessons thing, that it's kind of your job to burn your hand. And the reason that I like the term unteachable lessons. And one bit that's probably missing from that essay is to reassure people that the voice in the back of your head that tells you, I told you so, that's a prick. And you shouldn't be listening to that. The reason that these lessons are unteachable is that nobody learns them. So the fact that...
And when nobody learns them, it turns into repetition, and of course you never learn them, and then it just snowballs. Everything just snowballs and stacks on piles of itself. With these unteachable lessons, you should not listen to that inner voice that is a prick. You should never listen to a prick even if you want their advice. You should never care about their opinion.
You supposedly know that it's going to happen, you disregard it, it happens.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
That is the lesson. The lesson is that everybody doesn't learn the lessons, if that makes sense. And that should hopefully rid you of at least a little bit of that, I should have told you so, shame. You should have known that this thing was going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing, which is great. I love your hierarchy of results, actions, emotions, spirituality, and that at each level, as you try and pull somebody through, there is a lonely chapter that comes along for the ride, and there is a pullback in terms of real-world results, because you have moved ever out of outcomes and ever more inward, right? Ever more from the world, from the material, to something that's a little bit deeper, a little bit closer to self, a little bit like more central, right? It's increasingly sort of turning you inside out. And at each level of this that you move through is interesting. For me, a few things come up. First off, the first lonely chapter, which I think is accurate, your friends are going to leave you behind because of that pivot. There's another side to the lonely chapter too, which is your actions throw into harsh spotlight other people. So the looking glass self, right? That you are observing yourself through the influence and the expectation and the perspective of other people. And
okay, I love this. I fucking love this. Well said, Chris. That deserves a silent clap. It's just me clapping in my room. The looking glass self. You're looking at other people for the expectations and the actions of others, is what he's implying. Or whatever it is that so-called self is, you're looking at it through some other person's perspective or their actions or persona of you. Those people don't give a fuck about you. They never cared about you. They never wanted to know about you. They never wanted to understand about you. They never cared in the first place, so why the fuck do you care so much right now? Why do you care so much about right now? Why? People are people. You can't change people. You can't change them through your own lens. You can enlighten your lens and enlighten them about your opinion, but half of them will never even give a fuck about you in the first place. Half of them will never even care about you in the first place. Half of them will never even care that you even thought about them. Just think about that for a second.
have an incentive for you to not change because it's effortful for me to update my opinion of Charlie's the charisma.
Incentive for you so that you don't have to change, but updating your opinion of them, that is clear looking glass. Like, you're looking at them from the opinion of themselves from your own perspective. That's other people's opinion. That is other people's perspective of how either they see you, how you act on, and what they think of you as. At the same end of the day, they never cared about you in the first place. They never cared about you in the first place. Let's continue.
Like, you know, he's like Russell Brand videos and Donald Trump and like, you know, fucking Robert Downey. Like, that's, I know Charlie. Charlie's the charisma guy. Oh, fuck, Charlie's changed. I don't like that. First off, it means that if he can change, I can change. And his change throws my lack of change into harsh spotlight.
We are getting deep.
Charlie's the charisma guy. Like, you know, he's like Russell Brand videos and Donald Trump and like, you know, fucking Robert Downey. Like that's, I know Charlie. Charlie's the charisma guy. Oh, fuck, Charlie's changed. I don't like that. First off, it means that if he can change, I can change. And his change throws my lack of change into harsh spotlight.
If he can change, I can change, and he is throwing his harsh change into the spotlight of yourself. Do not do that. Do not do that, I promise you. Because if you do that, you will regret some things down the line. You will regret doing that. You'll regret their opinion. You'll regret what they'll say. You'll regret a lot of things around what you can control and what other people can control. Those two things, what other people can control is how you act. You can't control how other people act around you. Through that, you're putting your harsh realization of their criticism onto them, onto you, is what he's implying. And when you do it onto yourself, realizing that, yeah, your criticism or whatever it is, it could truly be the downfolding piece of the puzzle that is just waiting to be happening. And through this conversation, you may never know where this next conversation will lead. And I mean that in the best hopes of good for you, go follow your dreams and goals. Like, good for you. Like, I don't hear you clapping. Why are you clapping? Because, now how is a quote? You only clap for when the validation you truly need gains the expertise of other people. The expertise of what they think. The expertise of what they're trying to understand. The expertise that you are getting better. That you are better than who you were yesterday. The expertise that you are trying. That you are doing. That you're becoming that better version of yourself because you're afraid. It's not because you're afraid. It's more so because of what this so-called persona is. And whatever this so-called persona is, don't put it on other people. Don't put their criticism or put that opinion onto other people. Those other people never gave a flying fuck about you. So why do you care about what the fuck they think and what the fuck they say? For me, I don't care. I say whatever I want to say. But if you really care about them and really care about what they're going to say, watch what you think. Watch what you say. Because what you say is how they will act on what they will do. On how you said that so-called thing.
Also, that's effortful. Go back. Can you not be? Because I had to do a bit of work to work out who you were. Stop.
I had to do a bit of work to work out who you were. That is so true. Because without working on yourself, without working on what you are trying to become, that better version, that understanding version, that disciplined version, that understanding, whatever it is, take it with ownership. Take it that, yeah, I will need this opinion for another constraint of thought, or another constraint of what the fuck I'm truly trying to say or think or act. And sorry, I'm looking at myself and I don't like those bright LED lights. And whatever it is, whatever it truly is, knowing that, hold on, I gotta re-listen to this.
My lack of change into harsh spotlight. Also, that's effortful. Go back. Can you not be? Because I had to do a bit of work to work out who you were.
I had to do a bit of work to work out who you were. You're working on yourself. Do not work on other people when they don't even care. Because the other people probably will never even give a flying fuck about you in the first place.
Fucking changing, right? Another part is, well, if I really care about Charlie, especially if I'm in a relationship with him and he keeps changing, well, maybe what if one of the bits of change that he does means that he sees something in me that can't come along for the ride.
Yeah.
He can see something in me that cannot come for a ride. Whatever that sucking, fucking conversation, disrespectfulness, whatever it is, they are disrespecting you in some way. They're changing that persona of you, of themselves, because they're afraid of whatever it is you truly could become or truly what you want to say. If that makes sense.
What if his evolution results in a discarding of me as his friend or as his partner or whatever? Well, that's not bad. Like, so the people around you.
What if his evolution puts me down the rabbit hole, puts me into that spot, puts me into that spotlight? We all know what we must become, so we must do that so we can become that better version, so we can become that more understanding version of ourselves. Because without the understanding version of ourselves, you might never know where this life can lead you to. You might never know where this understanding will bring you. Let's continue.
Have a lot of incentives to keep you where you are. And this isn't, sometimes it's malicious or, sort of conscious, but for the most part, it's just someone going, please don't abandon me. Like, you're changing so much and it's wonderful for you, but like, I feel inferior, I feel insufficient.
Your change is making other people think about themselves differently. Your change is making them think and reiterate and understand and try to believe that they are doing this for themselves. If you're so afraid, then why are you changing? If you're so afraid, then why are you putting the pin into the section that is waiting to be read, waiting to be said? But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Stay liquid and stay yourself. Peace.